here's the discovery survey, what we're going to be doing, okay? This is your outline. And what happens is after this, what are you going to be getting out of this? You're going to be analyzing the data, okay? You're going to be analyzing the data by language, topics, right? The objections or challenges. You're going to go through all this data. You start reading this data to understand like what's going on here, right? So you're out language, topics, objections, right? And what you're doing is you're trying to figure out, you know, how do your people think? What are these same issues that keep coming up? And you start listing this out, right? Now, the whole goal here is to be able to scale this down to where you're going to be able to create your segments. And we'll go through that as we start analyzing the data, right? We'll start doing it. I'll show you how to do it. We'll do it together. And then as we go, if there's anything that looks really cool that I'm able to systemize, I'll build it into the platform. But so the whole deal here is you're doing this because you're looking to identify your segments. Segmentation. Okay? So you usually want to have anywhere from like 3 to 5 groups. Some rules. You don't want overlap. No overlap in your segments. You want it to be very clear. Like if somebody can fit in 2 different groups, it creates confusion. And now it just will not be as effective. Okay? If you can't find 3 to 5, right? At this point, yeah, I mean, you should. You could do it in any way. You could do it by age group. You could do it by gender. There's a lot of different things you could do. That's the beauty of it is once you start identifying the segments and the buyers, right? And now you start to overlay that with the data based off of their age, you can identify who your real buyers are and what age range they're in. And then you might be able to be targeting in a different way than you really are and give an uptick to your business. You might think that your core audience is 34 to 45. Meanwhile, your best customers are 55 to 65. Right? I'm telling you that's going to happen. That will happen to somebody here. I'll guarantee it. That will happen. Okay? So that's going to be an important thing that you guys are going to go through. Right? These are the steps that we're doing. I gotta go shortly. So there's a bunch of things when you're doing this. No overlap. You don't want to have. Usually, you want to. In a perfect world, right? In a perfect world, if you were able to do it, in a perfect world, you'd want to be able to have, let's say, 4 groups that are 25% each. Okay. 4 groups, 25% each. Right? If it's 5 groups, 20% each. That's like the perfect story. It's not going to happen, right? But the key is to have some measurement. You don't want any groups to be north of 50%, north of 40%, right? Because then you haven't done a good enough job of segmenting them out, okay? And you're not using this the way it's supposed to be used. You want to break it up, right? And get deeper and deeper and more personalized. So that's ultimately it, right? If you had 3 groups, ideally 33% each, right? So that's sort of the goal, right? So once you identify what your segments are, right? How do you figure out what percentage of people fall in to each of these, right? Well, you're going to take the number of topics and you're also going to do it by the people. Okay? So I'll show you that math later once we get into it. But so what's important on the topic side is that you want to be able to try to group your topics. So that's how you get to your 3 to 5. You might have 20 topics from analyzing all the data from the open-ended question. I'm not going to go too deep into this and go crazy. That's why I'm telling you guys, like, if you really want an outline for how to do this the right way, this is a real thing. There's a lot of work here, a lot of work. It's not as hard as you think, by the way. I promise you, it sounds harder than it is. I promise you that. And as you start doing it, and that's why we'll keep doing it, you'll start seeing it. You'll see different people doing it, and then you'll be like, all right, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to see the patterns, right? So now you're figuring out your segments. This is also helping you with figuring out what your questions are going to be in your segmentation funnel. Your segmentation survey funnel. It's going to help you with your analyzing is going to help you with your headlines. It's going to help you with the content on your outcome page. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I was on there. But so questions is going to help you with your questions for your segmentation funnel, segmentation survey funnel. It's going to help you. This data is going to do it for headlines, the content outcome. It's going to also give you an idea of what type of ethical bribe you want to offer, right? Like, what do you want to give them to get them to do something? Something of value, something not like a $500 gift card, but something that only your diehards would give a shit about. Sorry for cursing. But the point is, only the people that care, right? If I'm giving away like the 9 tips on how you would build an email list, then somebody that doesn't care about that isn't going to be engaging with me. Versus people that are like, whoa, Eric knows what he's talking about. I need to build my list, and not just a list. I need to build a qualified list to turn those people into buyers, right? I want that. I want that framework. That's what I'm talking about, right? So this is it. This is the whole discovery process. And you're going to get a ton of data. You're going to learn a lot about these people. And then from that point on, we go into the segmentation.